Fragments Silicon, guaranteed to not steal a mass amount of money for charity and then have all of our talent quit in 24 hours.
All right, welcome to another installment of Fragments of Silicon. I'm your host, Adam. Joining as always are Petty and Galax. Right, let us get to what we loosely refer to as the news. Galax, why don't you start us off this week?
Another fairly uneventful week here. I'm trying to apparently my amount of vacation time increased sharply this year, so I'm trying to figure out when I can use it. I guess I'll probably be taking a decent amount of time off in August
Is
since
your
my parents are
company a
going to be
use
away
it
for
or lose
longer.
it company or
It is
a
a limited carryover company.
because I know like dad's old job would let him cash it out at the end of the year if he wanted to, or he could carry over.
You can carry over 1 week, basically, and then after that, uh, anything beyond that you didn't use, you lose. I mean, it's not that I don't. It's not that you should. I mean, it's good to make people use their vacation. I'm just bad
Mm.
at it
Oh yeah, no, like
because because I want to make sure that the work that needs to get done that I do gets done,
right.
and because I want to make sure that I'm seen as being, helpful and productive and stuff.
Yeah, because
But
like
yeah.
when my mom worked at the hospital, because of the reason why she was off for a while is because of injury, so they made her take like I think 2 to 3 weeks off every quarter. Of like mandatory required you have to take this amount of vacation time off.
Hmm.
Obviously she was allowed to break it up because that'd be bad. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was definitely one of those like I know how mandatory vacations are.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe taking a 2-week vacation with my parents in the summer, but they decided this year they're going to take a 3 or maybe more week vacation, which is more than I can do again.
Yeah, and it's one of
So,
those breaking up, taking separate vehicles just so you can head back a week early is a pain.
or yeah, or arranging for public transportation,
Hmm.
or I don't know. There's a semi. I don't know, whatever train. There are trains and buses that go most of the way.
And I mean there
Um,
is also the when in doubt do the staycation.
yeah, I'll probably take extended weekends at least
Right.
during for a good chunk of the time they're away. But we'll see. So yeah, there's that. I did get my copy of Donkey Kong Bonanza and have been playing that a little, but then we had the Pokemon Direct the other day, and they announced raid challenges where if you want a shiny version of the Treasures of Ruin, there have to be 1,000 of each of them defeated in less than a week period. So I've been back on Scarlet doing that too.
Mm.
Also, they gave tracksuits that finally don't have the version color. Like it's still you get a grape themed one in Violet and an orange themed one in Scarlet, but the grape themed one is like red and orange, and the orange themed one is like blue and green, I think.
Mm.
So interesting choice. Um, and I think that's pretty much it.
So that would be my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the pool saga is getting interesting. Yesterday we had a tech from another pool company come look at it, and he was like, "This is definitely installer error, but they need to get like actual measurements to make sure whether or not it's still within spec. Like it's visibly off level, but you can be within an inch to an inch and a half off level and still be fine." As far as like fixing the floor of the pool, the only way that's going to get done is if we also replace the liner. So that's going to be one of those. Just to patch the liner and not worry about the floor for now would be like $150, and that includes the service fee or the service charge that may come out. For a full liner replacement and releveling out our floor and possibly like packing the floor so it's not having all those deep divots in it could be anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. And that's definitely one of those ones where we contact the Better Business Bureau and get the money out of the other installer because, again, installer, did a poor job. So that's going to be an interesting time. I'm waiting to hear back from the new company about how they want to proceed, because there's still some measurements that need to be taken on how off level the pool is to see if it's even safe to refill it again. Because right now it's effectively empty. There's like maybe a couple inches of water in the bottom. So it's definitely one of those, if we're gonna cut the liner off and replace it, now would be the time, since we don't have to try and drain it again. But at the same time, if there's not enough evidence for us to win, either have the BBB make them pay us or win a court battle, it would be better just to patch it and just hope it holds. But that, again, that's something that we'll either need to hopefully have the Better Business Bureau handle or have a discussion with a lawyer about. So that's, I'd say fun, but it's more a pain in the ass because currently we're at so far this is the hottest it's been all year. My watch still says feels like temperature is over 100 degrees. So believe me, I would rather be chilling in my pool right now than in my kind of stuffy bedroom. So there is that. My friend who found the pregnant kitten or the pregnant cat just had her kittens on Tuesday. So it's one of those, we need to find some time where I can go and, meet the kitties, because she wanted me to pick one based on Keller, but I'm very much of the cat needs to choose me type of pet owner. Because if the cat wants to be around me, they're going to be less likely to try and escape. And we live on a very busy street. So if Kitty escapes, Kitty is more than likely going to be run over. So we definitely want to mitigate that as much as possible. As far as gaming goes, I've been trying to play some more of the Castlevania Advance Collection. I think I kind of just shifted over to Circle of the, or not Circle, Aria of Sorrow, because I was getting pissed off at Circle of the Moon.
Yeah.
So, and like the other game on there just didn't interest me at all.
Well, there are two other games.
Yeah. I forget what the...
You mean, are you talking about Harmony of Dissonance or Castlevania X?
Harmony. Yeah, Harmony of
Hmm.
Dissonance didn't really interest me. And then what else have I been playing around with? I need to find time to get back into TCG Card Shop Simulator because that can be fun, but you need some time to put into that. I also need to get back into Cyberpunk because I got the Phantom Liberty DLC, but apparently what I did in my main file has locked me out of it, so I need to start the game over.
I've been debating picking that up, but I can't decide whether I'd rather get it for Switch 2 and don't know how it performs there, or on PC where my computer, I think, just barely meets the minimum requirements.
Well, let me look. My computer runs it fine, and yours is pretty close to mine. Though I think they did adjust. Oh no, your computer should run it just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, especially
It
if it's
was
still.
one of the things that, what was it?
It wants at minimum a GTX 1060 GPU, and I think you have a 2060.
I thought it was just a 1060,
I'm pretty
but I
sure I
could be
got you a 20
remembering wrong.
series. We can look later. And now you should have an SSD. You do use an SSD for your game drive too, right?
Not usually, but I do have a Steam's folder set up on it.
Because
It's
this,
much smaller than most of my other storage.
fair enough. I mean, you can also get another SSD for cheap, but this one does recommend you put the
No,
actual game on there.
if I did it on my PC, I would install it on the SSD that's like, I named the drive fast storage because that's what it's for.
Right. But yeah, that's something like, see, if Cyberpunk wasn't so long, this wouldn't be a problem, but my previous file has over 60 hours into it. And I guess something to do with what I did with the Voodoo Boys has locked me out of Phantom Liberty. So one of the things that it does do if you start a new game with Phantom Liberty installed is you can basically have it put you at the start where you can just go do Phantom Liberty. So I at least don't have to play all the way up to it. But it's still, do I really want to play through the whole game again? And I did do the Digimon pre-release on Saturday. I didn't do too well in the tournament, and from the cards I did pull, I didn't pull a lot of stuff out, but I did make some decent trades. So I have most of the stuff I'm looking for my Galaxy Lunamon deck. So most of the stuff that I have left to get, I can get from my boxes I have on order. Because I have 2 boxes coming, and most of the stuff I'm looking for is uncommon or less rarity wise. So I will be able to get them. It's just the boxes need to get here.
Yeah, I got mine. I got a few. I think I got like 3 Lunamons and 2 Dianamons, but no Alt Arts and like no Psyos.
Yeah. I'm debating throwing down the money on release event Lunamons for obvious reasons.
Lol, we had the packs, but we didn't have the promos.
Oh, you didn't get your Vikemon Ace?
Nope.
Oh. Yeah, I got mine. It's probably going in the Galaxy deck too because blue.
Yeah, they gave out some old promos instead, but apparently the local shop has problems with that.
Mm, yeah, my previous shop had those issues too. But yeah, I'd like to try and get back to Digimon Dusk this weekend, but it depends on plans. I will let you and Ogre know on that later. Possibly tomorrow. I'll have a better idea on what's going on this weekend. But yeah, I think as far as anything else, that's it from me.
I guess that means it's my turn.
Yup.
Well, not really much to report in on this week, mainly because if you tuned in on Sunday, you know I've been sick.
Mm.
And so I have been spending most of my time being sick.
Anything happen with the AWOL plumber?
That whole saga has been finally um put to rest. You know, turns out he went on vacation for a few days and didn't tell anyone.
Oh, that's not good.
No, so we got a second guy in did some work there, but he didn't have the proper tools to finish the job. So the first guy came back, and the long and short of things is uh, things have finally been repaired and back to approximately where they were. Like,
That is at least good.
yeah, it just it took a whole month to complete the process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, outside of that, like I said, it's just a whole lot of not much going on, in between being sick and also, the plans for at least Fragments got blowed up for the next couple weeks
Thanks,
due to
Gamescom.
yeah, due to quote unquote everyone getting busy, like
Everyone
and
getting busy. Look at upcoming game-related convention, huh?
yeah. So, um, haven't even really been playing, the Castlevania Advance Collection. I've been on Aria of Sorrow, but I suspended playing because you know all the cough medication and the sleepiness it provides. I'm like,
Bro's gonna wake up and think he was in the battle in 1999.
mm, thankfully, there have been some vivid dreams, but nothing that extreme.
Yet.
Like, though I think I got the wrong kind of cough syrups, since that made my blood sugar spike something
Ooh.
fierce. Yeah, I poured that shit out. And the thing is, it said it was safe for high blood pressure. I think it forgot to mention, safety for blood sugar. So, poured that out and just gonna go with the Mucinex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, so outside of that, I got nothing. So that means we move along to the main event for the evening. And what we do when, there's not a guest is we dig out some old videos and watch them. So
Indeed.
this time we've got a couple of gems from the mid 90s. Yeah. First up, we're going to look at how Sega initially promoted the Sega Saturn back in 1995 with this VHS promo, and when you watch it, you will see why I've dug it up for us to watch here and now, because it's a whole bunch of what were you thinking here?
And this is in the U.S., so we're unfortunately not going to get any Hiroshi Fujioka doing over the top stunts.
Yeah, no
Cowards.
Sagata. No, We are going to get something very, very different.
Very less
Like,
fun.
definitely less fun. No less bizarre, though.
Oh God.
It's quite the thing.
So I guess
What?
that's my cue to hit the projector.
Yes.
All right, there we go. I was about to say.
You are approaching Saturn.
Oh.
You are only seconds away. I have arranged for you to meet my...
It starts immediately.
Is she okay?
No.
He will lead you.
Like,
Watch and listen. Please.
so how is this supposed to sell video game consoles? Is my question.
Like that.
I'm about to play the "This Is Your Brain on Drugs" ad.
We are 5 years away from entering the 21st century. Humankind stands on the edge of the
This was a late night infomercial, yes?
Come a long way.
Surprisingly, no.
Oh God, they showed this during sunlight hours?
Well, it was just the promos. You'll see some of them.
Sega's
Like,
next generation gaming platform.
this was on
revolutionary sports.
This was a
and
VHS
arcade
promo.
games, all
But there were some of the, like, I remember this guy showing up
before possible
in
on home game
1995.
systems.
Hi, Panzer Dragoon.
Okay, now this is much more typical 90s.
Saturn.
Like, you know, extreme.
It's how you play the
Admittedly,
game.
the Saturn did look pretty good.
Yeah. Like, this is a bit obnoxious, but it was typical of the time.
Yeah.
This, okay, you know, Saturn and Jupiter over here, I don't know what was going on.
Sega Saturn, the
Oh.
benchmark of engineering excellence, combining three 32-bit RISC processors
Can we show this?
with 5 additional processors to create a head-snapping
We can.
500,000 polygons per second.
That's adorable
Experience Sega
nowadays,
Saturn's
just for
monster
reference.
torque and parallel processing power.
That's an art style these
All the speed
days.
and handling you'd expect. And every inch a Sega.
Once again, bold for 1995, considering the state of games advertising. If you've ever seen, you know, especially in the print.
Play the game, but no one has played this hard, this fast, this real until now. Come, look into the world of Sega Saturn.
I'm gonna have nightmares from this.
I can understand why. More cool 90s music. Like I said, I had to drag this onto the show at some point. It was destiny. Because, what are we doing here? What the actual fuck are we doing here? What is this? How is this supposed to sell a single system?
Remember,
gonna
kids,
say it-
don't do Quaaludes before you go on a camera.
I'm gonna say the Sega Saturn rightly died because of advertising like this.
Yeah.
Because, like, as inventive and as entertaining as it is for us,
The most
I'm
powerful,
still trying to figure out,
technologically advanced game
like, okay, you're
system.
pushing the specs, and, you know, I see some of the angles here, but this
Yeah.
is what?
Sega
What
Saturn
is this drug-addled
removes the most
nonsense?
Indulgent taste temptation from Sega, delivering crystal clear digital video and rich creamy.
Are you sure you didn't
3D
accidentally
graphics.
grab a YouTube poop
And
by
each
mistake?
unit is topped off with a
Okay, this is
delicious DSP
this is
chip
more a
dedicated to
metaphor.
scrumptious CD
you know,
quality sound.
It doesn't quite work, but once again, it makes more sense than, you know, the fucking
Literally the
talking head.
last 20 seconds.
NHL
Yeah.
All-Star Hockey.
Remember when hockey was relevant?
Eh. Remember when most sports were relevant?
Night.
Okay, Clockwork Knight was never relevant.
Daytona.
Anyone who sings the theme song gets knocked in the head.
Go ahead and try it.
In soccer, less so.
Go farther than you have ever
I think these are like the only games worth owning on the system, sadly.
play your
No, it had a much more robust library,
rest of the world.
like, especially in Japan. Especially in Japan.
Yeah.
Thank you for your attention.
Oh god, she's back.
Now it's time to explore your inner realm.
Oh Jesus, I'm scared.
Open your brain and look inside. Prepare to
Once again,
enter the theater of the eye.
it's more a question of how the Sega Saturn lasted as long as it did with advertising like this.
Welcome to the theater of the eye.
Oh, yeah.
Rods and cones report to the orbital socket.
How nice. We're trimming the toenails. What's that?
Oh, they're rod and cone eye cells. Okay.
Yes, yes. It's a bit highbrow for television. It's such an eye extravaganza, it's making the eyeballs go crazy. Literally.
Good lord.
What else can go wrong?
Once again, that's just kind of the 90s here.
Oh Jesus.
How did we survive the 90s?
Prove we did.
Welcome to the theater of the eye.
Yeah, these are the actual commercials that Sega put out on television. Once again, you gotta ask how we went from Welcome to the Next Level to this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess there was a switch in advertising agency, and whoever they picked for this was not good.
And jettisoned into the sun?
Sega Sports, which were important at the time.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Yeah, these ads are getting more obnoxious by the ad.
Sega. Saturn.
Now you may return to the world as you know it. And remember,
What was
look for
this?
Sega Saturn.
I just have to keep asking that.
It's out there.
Yeah, you're not wrong, lady. This is out there. Like, so did that make you want to buy a Sega Saturn?
No.
No. Your bewilderment says it all.
Well, that was a thing that happened.
Yes. Somehow a collective drug trip got pooled into a ad campaign.
Apparently.
With the expected results. Spoiler, the Saturn did not sell well. There were other factors behind that, but this ad campaign did not help.
No, it didn't.
Right, so let's flip the dial and see what Nintendo was doing in the year of 1997. With their flagship product for that Christmas, Diddy Kong Racing.
First on the scene, first with the news, last in the Journalists' Invitational Softball Tournament. This is Hot Topic.
I see they were still trying to be quirky.
Yeah, in contrast to the previous video, we are full on cheeseball here.
Oh, I'm Trent Tillman.
Somehow cheesier than the Star Fox 64 video. is an accomplishment. Not a good one, but
Dirk Monahan to catch
definitely
up
an
with the elusive
accomplishment.
chimp. Now Dirk has run with the bulls of Pamplona
Because,
and braved
you know
the
what we need to
raging
parody?
waters of the Amazon in
90s
nothing more than a
talk
minute or two.
show.
He eats danger with a spoon, wipes his chin, and asks for seconds. Dirk, can you hear me? All right. Now, Dirk, you were the first human to experience the Diddy Kong adventure. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And how did you do? Oh, I didn't think you could break that. What exactly happened?
Funny.
So you were trying to pick up a balloon, but you were sideswiped by a squirrel, hit an oil slick, and smashed into the hind leg of a brontosaurus? Dirk, was Diddy a part of this? Tragic. Let's check in with our chief correspondent, Dent Chassis. Dent?
Trent?
Dent, as Dirk discovered, it seems we are dealing with something drastically different.
That's right, Trent. We believe Dirk was involved in what's called the adventure mode. This is no place
At least
for the faint of
to
heart.
your theme
Here's what we know
appropriate
so far.
here. You know,
This realm
Diddy
pits you
Kong,
against a
jungle,
number of challenges.
that kind of
Make your
deal.
way by collecting golden balloons.
Not sure
These
why
lead
we
up
went with
doors to
Stock
4
Show Angel.
areas: Dino
Otherwise,
Domain, Sherbet
Yeah.
Island, Snowflake Mountain, and Dragon Forest. Once inside, you'll explore the worlds.
this is
and race the
also
boss of
fairly
each
more
one. If
straightforward than what
successful,
Sega
you'll
was
take the
doing
silver
because,
coin challenge.
you know,
Collect all 8
we're
coins
getting
and
quite a
you're
bit of
one step
information
closer
on
to the
Diddy Kong
ultimate battle
Racing.
with
Well,
Whiz Pig.
this is specifically about Diddy Kong Racing, not the console
Let's go
itself.
live to our rookie reporter,
Yeah.
Frank Fontaine, with breaking news. Frank? Frank?
Yes, Trent, we have just obtained this ultra super secret press release from Nintendo. It appears that Diddy Kong will also
That's
be
a
racing new and
contradiction.
different
How
vehicles
can
in this
something be a
adventure.
press release and be
Specifically,
ultra super
hovercraft.
secret?
That's right, hovercraft
Look,
and planes will also
I'm
be
somebody who
available.
works
This
with a
is
lot of
racing
press
like we've never seen
releases.
before,
I guess
Trent. Even head-to-head and versus mode.
an
Planes can race
internal
different
press
combinations of
release,
vehicles.
maybe, but then
Plane versus
why
car,
it wouldn't be a
cart versus
press
hovercraft,
release? It would just be an
hovercraft
internal
versus cart,
document.
Plane versus plane, cart versus cart, hovercraft versus hovercraft.
Okay, Frank.
I think
We'll
this
be
is the
right
thought
back
process
after
that gave
these
us Sonic
messages.
All-Stars Racing
Don't miss
Transformed.
Trent Tillman's Sunday night special report. Brush with the monkey.
What do you remember about the incident?
I don't know.
And in typical, you know, Donkey Kong-esque fashion, we are going full throttle with the apes and monkey gimmick.
Special report Sunday at 8.
That tends to happen with these.
What could have caused this seemingly docile chimp to adopt such reckless behavior? Take the case of Sheila Weston, Diddy's sweetheart for the past 4 years. Theirs was a storybook romance. told
Nobody
in the
tell
tabloids
Dixie.
and talk shows.
I was gonna say.
And suddenly, it came to an end.
I was in the kitchen. I had just made a banana coconut casserole. It was his favorite. He said he was going out to look at a hovercraft.
Of course it
and never
was.
came back. I think he felt like he needed something more action, more thrills, more horsepower. I miss my monkey!
Oh boy. Frank, what's the
I feel
scene
like
out
that can
there?
be taken out of
Plane versus
context
plane,
very
hovercraft versus cart,
easily.
cart versus plane, hovercraft versus heart.
Why are we still on this
Check in
guy?
with Candy Krause in the
I
Hot
don't
Topic
know, I'm
J443
scared.
Jetpack. Candy, what can you see?
Well, Trent, my gosh, it's much higher
Once
than I
again,
thought. We're
hey,
looking at over 20 different courses here with all types of terrain. It's really dangerous down there.
I think just got
Difficult to
bored.
see how anyone could
I
survive
wanted to be
something like this.
comedic.
Courses with mountains, canyons,
Failed,
tunnels, volcanoes, lagoons.
but
The
an attempt
list
was made.
goes on. The adventure mode allows you to earn the right to race the courses here in the tracks mode. Players can race against another
That was a big
opponent or
innovation in the kart
actual
racing
time
genre.
trials.
Make no mistake.
Speaking of time, Trent, is this battery operated?
Good question, Candy.
Funny.
There are others believed to be involved in Diddy's adventure. Banjo the bear, Crunch the alligator, Conquer the squirrel, Timber the tiger,
Couple of characters
Bumper the
and
badger,
roster
the
you won't
turtle,
care
and
about.
Pipsy the mouse. Let's get an update from Dent Chassis.
Early reports indicate an arsenal of weapons is being unleashed. Homing missiles, multi-shot missiles, oil spills, mines.
It's a
In some
kart
cases,
racer, so it
almost
includes
used.
violence.
Players may collect shields to protect themselves.
And this is a
but we've
standard
heard that
kart
high-powered
racing
magnets like this
loadout.
one have already been spotted.
Though it does
It
once
seems
again
the
have its own
tensions are already
innovation.
running high
You know, the
among the
layering
participants.
system was made.
This bag of acorns was found shoved into the exhaust system of Crunch's plane. Right now, all fingers are being pointed squarely at Conquer. We'll have more information.
Considering
on
the
this story
direction
as
Conquer
soon
went
as we
in,
have
I think
more
that was
information
getting off light.
on this
Yeah.
Let's check back in with Frank Fontaine.
Is bro good?
Hot Topic has been
No.
granted an exclusive interview with 2 Nintendo insiders with some startling information concerning Diddy Kong Racing.
There's something else, something deeper. It's the Rumble Pack. It lets you actually.
Oh, right, this was Rumble Pack compatible.
Terrain, the other vehicles.
Right, and the Rumble Pack was only a few months old at this point, so it made sense to hype it up as a feature.
Tips, Daryl. That's all we want. What about the turbo?
All right. When you hit a turbo, let the boost fizzle out before you press the A button. If you press A, you'll cut off any boost you have going.
And the power-ups?
When you collect 3 balloons of the same color, one right after
These
another,
are actually
you get a totally
good
powered-up
tips.
item. Say. And you can also use the zippers and spinning bananas to increase your speed.
Ah,
Don't
yes,
forget the
zippers.
When you're heading into a sharp turn, use the R button. Okay. This will make the
You know,
hovercraft pop. Then it's easier
you
for
do
to
the
make
thing
those
you
turns.
really should do in
Something
kart
about an
racing.
overworld.
When you're exploring the overworld, there are hidden balloons.
That's how I
Really?
found that
You can
particular
find them
balloon,
by
by the
using all
way.
the different vehicles, okay?
Oh, what, this video?
People are vultures.
Yep.
Little help?
Thanks, Daryl. But let's not forget the 4-player capability.
Because it's an N64 game, we've got to hype the multiplayer. Even though, once again, Diddy Kong Racing is kind of considered to be weak in that area. Not terrible, but not the all-time classic Mario Kart 64 one.
There is only one way to experience the adventure for yourself. Diddy Kong Racing will be on sale November 24th. Or you can check it out right now at your participating video store or retailer. But remember, please
Odd promotion.
drive safely.
This has been
No, I don't want to.
Here's what's coming up next.
Check out these slam bangerific N64 titles for the holidays.
No one has ever said that ever done anything ever.
Did they pull the didgeridoo?
Yes. Once again, more cool 90s music.
With a racing bend on this one.
Yeah. Also, we're hyping up some of the older titles because, usually they have what's coming, out soon, quote unquote. And now this is a whole bunch of games that were already out by then. Even hyping up games from '96. That's how thin the roster was in '97. Now it's techno.
With some slight bongos in there.
Yeah.
Mischief makers.
I just see it getting television time, so to speak.
Hurrah.
We're also in the aggressive period of Nintendo advertising with the get in or get out campaign.
Also, crash test it now wherever you get N64.
Well, kart racing, get it?
Yeah.
Once again, it's the 90s.
Indeed.
It's what you did. So, yeah. I think this is worth it just for the Sega tape alone.
Yeah, I'm still going to have night terrors on that.
Understandable, because I am legitimately baffled by what was going on there. I want to know why that exists. What was the thought process? How is this supposed to sell your goddamn system?
Somebody did just about every 80s drug you can think of right there on the floor of the advertising office the day before that needed to be taped.
Yeah. Whereas this cheeseball, but did get the points reasonably across.
I could show this to a young child. They would look at it and be like, huh. Not, oh God, mommy, help.
Yeah. And I think that contrast kind of exemplifies why one is in the console business still and the other is not. Anyway, Petty, play us to the next segment. All right, so welcome to the topic of discussion. So this week we are going to be talking about something that's been going on in the underground for a bit, but kind of hit critical mass in a few ways. Not sure how ongoing the story is, because it's actually a couple of stories. It first hit last week that, how do I put this? The bane of creativity, the credit card uh, payment processors. Please don't tell Mac about this because I don't want to have to endure another one of his rants about the subject. Because he's been fighting this shit for a decade plus.
I'm
No
aware.
joke.
We've been there for the rants.
Yeah. But, they decided to exert their payment processor power over Steam. Because last week it got out that Steam has changed its terms of service. And now they're no longer going to allow certain kinds of adult content that Visa and MasterCard find objectionable. And that has had the immediate knock-on effect of some 150 adult-oriented titles getting banned. Specifically, titles with words such as incest, cuck, and things along those lines.
Which fair, but not a good precedent to set that they'll do this just because of credit card people being a bitch about various types of content.
Right. I'm gonna note that okay, because there's been a lot of left type people who have been trying to push Steam to start, policing what gets released on Steam. Though I think, more, get rid of the Nazi shit.
Yeah.
And, though I can't say that this, this kind of material, is necessarily engendered itself to a lot of people. But yeah, so this gets into a couple of things. One, apparently now we've been hearing about the silent battles in Valve's adult oriented areas for a while now, as John of Manga Gamer has told us over the years. Also, on that note, he won't be able to tell us these things anymore because he's been reassigned within Manga Gamer. And it kind of a reshuffling that happened over there. It's unfortunate. Maybe we'll have him on when he gets to other pastures, but that's neither here nor there. The problem is, since John isn't here, I'll be frank. Some of the material Manga Gamer was dealing in was a huge problem, and not just due to artistic reasons. Yes, some Manga Gamer releases face scrutiny because there was nudity in a non-sexual context.
But
and
some of the stuff was borderline illegal in several places.
Not necessarily, I get I guess I have to be frank about this. It is no, some of the material Manga Gamer, like that one game that got flat out banned. No, you were dealing with underage
Yeah.
character being depicted in lascivious situations. And yeah, that was a huge problem for for a lot of businesses over here.
Not just businesses, but people with eyes.
Yeah. From what I understand, I forget the title of the game, but that is flat out why that game got banned. You know, so it's not like this is necessarily new wholesale, but this is a new front. Because Visa and MasterCard have been waging this war on creative types in the artistic space for, once again, a decade plus. Mac has the fine details on that.
Yeah.
Like, but it turns out there was more to the story. It wasn't just, MasterCard and Visa suddenly objecting to Incest Simulator 2025. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. I don't care to know.
Yeah, please don't let us know if it is or not. We do not want to know if it exists.
Yeah. Like, my point is that is the kind of material that is getting banned here. Like, indeed, turns out somebody was pushing, pulling the strings. I'm gonna have to. I'm trying to remember the name of the group. Because it's an Australian anti-porn group who did the initial push, but they weren't alone. Because try to guess who they were working with.
Some crazy Christian group. I don't know.
American evangelicals. But, the point man here is this group called Collective Shout, an Australian anti-pornography group. Apparently they are, they've been rabble rousers in Australia for some time now, including trying to get like Grand Theft Auto 5 banned down there. One of the David Cage games. I want to say Quantic Dream, not Quantic Dream, Heavy Rain, but maybe Beyond Two Souls. One of those pieces of shit. They wanted to get banned on, nudity grounds. So, spoiler alert, this group, not the good guy.
Yeah.
Like, no. A group like this will never be the good guys. I want to say it's a complicated situation, but no, because the goal of groups like this is never the porn. In fact, I'm willing to I'm willing to believe that Collective Shout here, as well as their American evangelical backers, probably love Titty Simulator 2026. Once again,
it's never about the porn. It's about the control.
Yes. And specifically marching towards LBGT content.
Yep.
That's all, that's always the end goal here. Okay. It's once again, today they came. It's weird to quote that poem, but today they came for the incest games. Tomorrow they'll be coming for Celeste. Because ultimately, that's what they want to do. They want to control what you play, what you buy, what you view. Control, control, control.
Because screw people having the right to use the money for things that are legal.
Yeah, and as much as I do not care for the types of porn in these particular games, not my thing. It's like, I find incest to be disgusting, but it's like, I'm going to side with these people over goddamn right-wing anythings.
Yeah.
These people have been my mortal enemy since the 90s. These are the descendants of the same fuckers that said Mortal Kombat was going to lead to violence in the streets and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's like, so
suddenly GTA is going to make Little Billy go shoot up the gas station down the street.
Yeah, it's like, look, when it comes to the lesser of two evils, the people who are making simulated torture porn are less evil than right-wing nutcases.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they happen to be, let's say, aligned there politically, which happens far more often than you think.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, these kind of moral crusaders, I've never liked.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what their political affiliation.
Yeah, I'm very much of the camp of I don't give a fuck what goes on between two consenting adults. You do you. Just don't drag me into it.
But that's the thing. This is always about in the name of protecting the children.
Yes.
Won't somebody think about the children? Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm just about done with that. So, rare bonus topic number 2.
Oh.
Because it's only 10 after.
Indeed.
So we have time to fill. So, over to Donkey Kong Country 2.
Electric Boogaloo?
Diddy's Conquest. It does have a proper subtitle. A proper punny subtitle is at that. I'm not sure what state your Switch is in.
Where's my Pro Controller first? All right. Stand by.
Yeah, apologies.
We were not planning for this.
Yeah. But we did have a backup in case.
All right, there's Switch. Let me save my game real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can go away, bot. Goodbye. Do not come back.
But the Diddy Kong Racing video and Donkey Kong Country 2 here is obviously because Donkey Kong Bonanza just came out. So it felt appropriate to talk about Donkey Kong related things. Fortunately, we've already talked about the original Donkey Kong Country and the original Donkey Kong and the Donkey Kong Land series. So it falls on us to talk about Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong 64, now that I think about it. So the next thing in that sequence is Donkey Kong Country 2. I guess we could have talked about Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, but I don't think anyone here has played that game.
Was that the drum one?
Yeah, that was the bongo platformer.
It was the platformer that used the bongo controllers, but I never had a GameCube.
Yeah,
that's
my point.
Visual accompaniment has been provided.
Yeah. So Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. AKA, how do I put this? Maybe the most controversial move Rare could have made. And it's something that divides...
Making a Donkey Kong sequel without Donkey Kong in it, except for at the very end?
Yes. And this is something that it pisses people off to this day, because and it's not like Yoshi's Island or Wario Land where it had the Super Mario Land 3, Super Mario World 2, but that it was very clear that we were launching a new series here. No, this is actually meant to be Donkey Kong Country 2 and not a launching platform for a series of Diddy games. So, Rare made the very controversial call to not have Donkey Kong as a playable character. And it's a thing that they would revisit again for, Donkey Kong Country 3, but, we'll talk about that when we talk about that. But, I'm trying to remember if Rare ever really talked about the thought process behind that. I want to say
for the most part, in Donkey Kong Country 1, Diddy Kong was the better play experience because he's much more maneuverable and he can jump higher for platforming purposes. It is true that Donkey Kong can reach things that are higher than Diddy, like tokens or whatever, but...
Yeah. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, apparently they did it just to surprise players. Now, granted, I'm not sure how much surprise players were going to get, given that, he's all over the fucking box and he's in the subtitle. They make it pretty explicit that you're playing as, Diddy Kong's the new headliner. But yeah, apparently they just did it because they were young and stupid and allowed them to disregard risks. So they basically said, fuck it. Let's go with Diddy Kong. But you could also see it as Rare giving their creation the limelight. Remember, Donkey Kong was the thing that they inherited, or they got. Diddy Kong is their own creation. He is a character who is not Donkey Kong Jr.
You can tell because he's not the same kind of monkey, or more precisely, he's a monkey and not an ape.
Right. The tail is the giveaway, by the way. That's the big difference between monkeys and apes. Tails. Anyway. So yeah, Diddy Kong was given the starring role. But they wanted to keep the tag team mechanic going on. So that led to the creation of Dixie Kong, his girlfriend. And honestly, I think that gave us the best dichotomy of the Donkey Kong Country games, Diddy and Dixie. It's like, I think they're the best pairing.
This is the game where the two play the closest.
Right. They play
because they're both lightweights, and they do something. There are some enemies in the previous game that only Donkey Kong could defeat normally, and if Diddy wanted to, he had to use barrels or something, and that still holds true for the analogs in this game. There is no one heavy enough to... I think they changed them from crushes to crunches, but...
Right. I mean, there's still an imbalance because Dixie has the helicopter ponytail, and, that's just kind of a cheat code there. But it's not as bad. I won't say it is as bad as the Donkey Diddy dynamic in Donkey Kong Country, where 95% of the time you're better off playing as Diddy Kong.
Yeah, the gliding mechanic is actually significantly useful She's a little bit slower, I think, and I don't know if she can. I don't know. I never compared jump heights. But yeah, Dixie is a little bit slower, but the glide is actually really useful for a lot of platforming purposes.
Mm-hmm. So,
also she carries things above her with her ponytail so that you don't crash into things.
Yeah. It's also her design isn't hideous and off-putting like Kitty Kong was. I mean that is like 9/10 of the reason why people hate Kitty Kong.
Yeah, the onesie with the butt flap is just kind of a. Well, it's a little bit ugly, but B, it really drives home that this is like a really young child that you're using to fight things. Whereas Diddy could be up to like young teens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, anyway, also Donkey Kong Country 2 goes and fixes a lot of the problems that the first Donkey Kong Country game had. I.e., it makes its secrets and collectibles useful. Now, because say what you will about such things in a rare game, but in Donkey Kong Country, they are fairly pointless. Like, yeah, there's a lot of hidden rooms in the first Donkey Kong.
I mean, in the first game, you have bananas. You have the bananas that get you extra lives. You have the animal tokens that get you to a bonus stage where you collect a lot of animal tokens that get converted into bananas and give you extra, or that give you extra lives. You have life up balloons that give you extra lives, and that's about it.
Right, and it gives you a percentile.
Yeah,
it's like you can go.
That's mostly just from bonus stages, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bonus stages are pointless, as opposed to the collectibles and the bonuses in Donkey Kong in Diddy's Conquest. That actually builds towards something.
Oh, right, I forgot. You also have the Kong letters, which give you an extra life.
Yes.
But yeah, in 2, there actually are coins that you actually use for mini games and stuff, and also,
I
think, saving? Or was that only in 3?
And I think that was 3. I don't remember offhand.
And yeah, you unlock the secret world by getting all of the special coins that there's one of in each level.
Yeah, and I think there's a secret. Yeah, there's a secret boss fight and a secret ending. Things that were expanded upon in Donkey Kong Country 3. But it started here. Also, this game went and made the animal buddies a lot more useful.
Some of them were useful in the original one.
I said more,
but they do more things. I mean, Rambi is still an extra hit, and you can hit things with him.
Well, yeah,
they took out Espresso, if I remember correctly, because Dixie can do that.
Yeah, Espresso was pretty useless at the best of times, but was just completely redundant by the time of Donkey Kong Country 2.
The snake gives you some semi-unique vertical gameplay options.
Yeah.
Squitter the spider is probably the best one because he actually has a ranged attack and lets you make your own platforms, which gives you a lot of creative outlet.
Yeah, I mean, Squitter was so good that they brought him back for Donkey Kong Country 3.
Yeah, they did not bring many previously existing ones back to 3. Oh, okay, well, on one hand, they gave Squawks, who in the first game only holds a light for you. They gave him an actual thing to do in that there are now 2 or Squawks and Quawks or whatever. one that can fly and one that can glide, or fly and shoot coconuts, and the other one can just glide or something. I forget which. Unfortunately, they did also introduce a new animal buddy that does nothing but carry a light for you. It's just this time it's a fish, because everybody loves dark stages that flashbang you, because your light source is diegetic whenever you turn around. So it spends a frame face toward the camera. Combined with water levels.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also the seal that barely counts because he doesn't even follow you, but you use him to turn some of the water cold in some levels.
Yeah. Also, Ungard returns.
Yes, because it lets you attack things underwater, which is important.
I mean, let's be honest here. Rambi and Ungard were the best of the animal friends. Certainly the most useful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Rambi is the most perennial one brought back, I think, in almost everything except 3.
Yeah.
And Guard is in almost everything that has water levels, which is not all of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Rambi even returned for Donkey Kong 64, and he's in new Donkey Kong, the Donkey Kong Country Returns games, and he's in Bonanza. Like, really, the only animal buddy that's lasted this long. Even in Guard only went to as far as 64.
Well, like I said, I don't think the Returns games had water levels.
They didn't.
Which is kind of a shame, because even though the levels were really annoying, they universally had really good music.
Right. Retro is just not interested in that.
Anyway, we were talking about 2.
Yes. It is worth noting that another thing that was improved are the bosses. Like, I'm not going to say that Donkey Kong Country 2's bosses are all-timers or anything. It's more Donkey Kong Country 1's bosses were by far the weakest element. Maybe with the possible exception of King K. Rool, but
plus in 2, they didn't reuse all of them, I think.
There's a few.
Not all of them. There was one. The Dumb Drum didn't get reused, but you had 2 Gophers, 2, I think 2 Bs. No, maybe only 1 B. But you definitely had 2 Gophers and 2 Vultures.
Yes. Yeah. The point is, Donkey Kong Country's boss encounters were lame. Very noticeably lame.
All of them were just a large version of an enemy, or in one case, a stage hazard.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in 2, they are more creative. They do still reuse at least one of them. There are, once again, 2 Vultures, but the second time it's a ghost, and you fight it a little bit differently.
Yeah. Pro, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yep. Yeah. In spite of the fact that it's a Vulture.
Yeah. Well, they got to get, it's with a K.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they couldn't get an actual Kremling to fill in the void there for whatever reason. Anyway, also, this game has a very, very piratical bent to it.
Following up from the final boss of the first game, where you leave Donkey Kong Island and go to the pirate ship where King K. Rool is. So after you beat him, I guess he decides to go all in on the pirate thing.
Well, yeah, to the point where he redubs himself Captain K. Rool. And, he gets a fucking blunderbuss.
He also makes, all of his Kremlings get peg legs, apparently, but...
Like I said, he goes all in on the pirates.
Or at least those are the ones that you see.
Mm-hmm. The point is, he goes all in on that. apparently that owes to the project lead's fascination with the golden age of piracy. So that's why we get, Donkey Kong One Piece.
I mean, I think it worked better than half-assed Pacific Northwest. Which I get why they didn't reuse any enemies from the first 2 and 3. They redesigned the shield coin guy a bit, but yeah, they didn't want to have to deal with basically I think it's just the 3D the renders that the rendered graphics that they used were aging a bit, and it was literally easier to redesign them from scratch than to like up-res them.
Possibly. It's like, but I will say, this one isn't as redesigned as 3 is.
Yeah, no, 2 and 3 are 1 and 2 are much more aesthetically close than 2 and 3 are.
Yeah. Like 3 is a lot more pastel-y and cartoony. Say nothing of like the GBA version. Just speaking of the GBA version, I'll be honest, I don't know what was added to that because I never played the GBA version.
Me neither.
I think like
it's impressive that they were able to like make it kind of work, but I think everyone would agree that they were not as good as the original versions.
Well,
that goes back to the land games that were not great.
Well, yeah, that's mainly because doing SGI graphics on a Game Boy screen, eye-searingly bad.
Yes, you can simplify the graphics further.
Yeah, no, the problem
it's not necessarily a great idea.
Yeah, no, the problem with the Donkey Kong Country games on the Game Boy Advance is, well, the same one I brought up with Harmony of Dissonance last week. It's all fucking washed out and, ultra bright. And that's a problem for moodier games. And, not every stage in Donkey Kong Country is a moody tour de force, but some of them were.
Some of them are, yeah. There was an entire world that was attempting to be spooky.
Yeah.
And even outside of that, there were some swamp levels, some cave levels.
Yeah, like they were. It's a game series that makes use of the entire fucking palette here, and so that like the biggest problem with like Donkey Kong Country 1 on the Game Boy Advance is like the cave level. They're supposed to be dark, and you're not supposed to be able to see. But the game is so fucking bright on the GBA, you can see even when the light's not there. No, it's like, the contrast is just way too high. Blame that on the shitty screen and not having a backlight, but that's why those are inferior. And also the screen crunch. But that just happened with any home console game that got converted to a handheld.
Yeah, it's really easy to overlook mentioning in advertisement and stuff. Oh, hey, look, the graphics look great, or they look you can totally do this, and then like ignoring the fact that also now you can't see enemies coming very well.
Yeah,
because your main character takes up too much of the screen.
Anyway, I suppose the question is Donkey Kong Country 2 the best of the series?
I think it's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to say a provisional yes, if only because I'll be honest, I never played Donkey Kong Country 3. because by the time that game came out, I was fully aboard the Nintendo 64 train. You know, and I think I'm, that is the boat a lot of people are in. Donkey Kong Country 3 has been often mentioned as probably the best overlooked game.
It's not bad, but they changed a lot of things that I liked.
Yeah.
And something like the whole, like they made, like they went not nearly as bad as say Donkey Kong 64, but they went a little bit overboard with some of the collectibles and side quests and get a thing and bring it to the bear so he can trade you for a thing that you can combine with another thing to bring back to the other bear to get a vehicle that'll let you access the next world.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna say at the very least, I think Donkey Kong Country 2 is significantly better than Donkey Kong Country 1.
1 was a good proof of concept, but
I would go for the, it's a good game.
Yeah, it was iterated on very successfully.
Yes. And I'm also not one of those people who are eminently bugged by, Donkey Kong not being in the starring role. Mainly because I didn't really like playing as him in Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, he's slow and he has a bigger box where you can get hit by enemies, so.
And the way he threw barrels was awful.
Yeah, you can miss things that are close to you.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was, now if this is better than 3, I couldn't really say. But yeah, this is my favorite Donkey Kong Country game. And yeah, I think that's all I got here. Anything else from you?
I think I'm good. Petty, do you have anything?
Not really. I've never really got into the Donkey Kong Country games, so I was just here kind of trying to play it. Again, I grew up as a Sonic kid, so.
It's a different place.
But Donkey Kong has a spin dash.
Anyway. All right, then. So that'll about do it for this installment of Fragments of Silicon. Coming up on the week ahead, let's see, we do have a new episode of MSP planned for right after this, so be sure to tune in for that. No Friday show this week. And coming up on the Sunday reviews, we're having reviews of Fig, Cardotini, Deathless the Hero Quest, and Karakuni-kun, A Japanese Tale. So, until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.